Hello, this is a demo of some changes that I would like to make to network interface dialogs. And let's see, I will be jumping around quite a bit in the UI here. I hope that's not too confusing. First is we have two tabs open here. This one here on the left is what I want to propose, and here on the right, this is the current state of the released Cockpit machines thing. So, because we want to compare these two, let's start. It's about the Add Network Interface dialog, and currently it looks like this. You can select the type of a network here from a drop-down, and once you've done it, you can select the source for this type here from another drop-down. And if you don't know what the types are, you can open this pop-up here, and they will be explained to you like this. And let's look at the new one. What I would like to do here differently is that the types are selected with the radio buttons here, and the description, everything is right here in the dialog. You don't have to open the pop-up anymore. And yeah, I hope this is easier to understand what's going on. But the rest is the same. If you select the type, then you can, the source drop down then applies to this new type here. And so on. The rest of the dialog stays the same. So this is the first change. And then let's look at what happens in edge cases. Let's go to the terminal and be root. And now this is a trick. It's a hack to hide all the real interfaces from Cockpit, which means now the dialog has to cope with some types of interfaces that are not possible anymore. So I think I have to reload this. So let's open the dialog again. This is the old one, the current one that is released. You can still select between these types, but if you now select the bridge to LAN, for example, then this one will be disabled and tells you that there are no network devices. You have to make the connection that this is here for this type, and selecting a different type will enable this again. There's also a little bug here. If you select this one, then this thing is not actually disabled, but it just allows you to select the empty string. But we can fix this bug in any case. So the point is, if you select something that is not possible because there are no sources for this, then this drop down here is disabled. The add button is still enabled. If you press it, then, oh look, you even get an error here. Yeah, I think this will be fixed in the next release, but the current release, this is even, yeah, this is pretty bad behavior, I would say. I wasn't even aware that it's this bad. So anyway, I think not the best situation, and let's see how we do this here in the new one. We also have to do the same trick, I think. Is it switch commands? Nope, it's a different machine, so we have to do the trick again and reload and click here. And now you can see that the types that are no longer possible are actually directly disabled. You can't even get into the situation where this thing here would be disabled and pressing the add button would have to produce some sensible error message or anything. So now you can't navigate the dialog into the state that is not possible anymore. I think that's better. Explanation is here, is a bit hidden. It says it has no sources, but in any case, it doesn't work. So you stay away from this. If you really, really want this, then you might have to investigate a bit what is actually wrong. Yeah. So, and now we come to the even more interesting place where nothing is enabled here, where nothing is possible. Let's see what happens here. for this, we would go and actually delete the default network here. I will do this on my main machine that is also used to record this demo. So let's see what happens. I'll delete this now. So we know we have no networks anymore. And we go back to our machine here that isn't running, so it doesn't care if the network exists or not. And now we add a new one. And as before, we have no virtual networks here. So this thing is disabled here when we select this type. It's disabled when we select this type. And this one is broken, so it should be disabled, but it isn't. So just pretend it's also disabled. And yeah, so you can't do anything in this dialog except clicking cancel. So there's no way out here, but it might be hard to discover because you have to try all the options here. And I think this is a confusing state. It's very rare that this happens, but it's possible. So let's see what the new one is doing. Oh no, oh my God, we have killed the network for this. Yeah. Let's just pretend this thing is dead, and I will do some terminal tricks to get the current version to this machine here, which is still running. So now we have to log out. Live as a developer. Okay, let's see what virtual machines is doing here. So just to confirm, there are 0 networks here. And we go back to the add network dialog. And now you get this version of the add virtual network interface dialog where it says, no, this doesn't work because there are not any source for any type of virtual network interface that you could create here. And the button is disabled. You can cancel here, or you can go to this rescue action, maybe, where you can create the default virtual network, whatever that is. And if you do that, dialog opens up again. This one is selected. Here's the default network that has just been created, and you can add your network interface to this. So I think it's also pretty nice and pretty handholdy, except that people who are completely confused by the situation will not know what it means to create the default network. And so we might need to explain that a bit more. There's another change that is related to this. If we go here to the networks, and this one has just been created, but let's delete it again. And now this one also has this button. When there's nothing defined here, you can get to a usable state, and you just create the default one and you're good. That could also be explained much better. And so we could say things like that the default network is supposed to exist and that the system relies on it, and that there are tools and services and whatever running in the system that will misbehave if there's no default network, which I think is true. It's true enough. Yeah, that's it. Those are the improvements. They started with the add virtual interface dialog, and I think they now cover the edge cases pretty nicely and better than before. Okay, thanks a lot.